everyone, welcome back to the Vengeful Empire, Star Wars The Old Republic show. Today, me and Zan will be talking about Sith Sorcerers / Jedi Sages in specifically PvP environments. Zan, who's Star right now, will be demonstrating Madness Sorc, and I'll be just demonstrating Corruption Heals, and we'll be going through these within an actual war zone throughout this video, just to show you kind of how you can master these specs throughout war zones and the rotation of these specs as you go through it. Whether you're in a ranked war zone arena or you're in an operation, the rotations that we're gonna be using throughout this video are certainly viable in any environment. So Zan, do you want to go ahead and talk about Madness Sorc for a little bit?
Alright, so even though this is a PvP video, we are here at the Combat Dummies because I want to talk about the basic hardcore rotation of Madness. And what that's going to be is Creeping Terror, Affliction, get your dots on the target, and then you're going to use Recklessness and Polarity Shift at this point when you're trying to burst someone, and then you're going to immediately hit Force Leech, followed by Death Field, Force Lightning, Demolish, and then you're going to Force Lightning again, and then Lightning Strike and Shock. And that's it. You just repeat that again through, and
Madness is a pretty easy spec to play. You just have to make sure that you're placing your dots on the target and that you're just following that rotation to the letter. It'll work out for you, and you'll be able to parse really high DPS on any boss fight just because it's a great spec to play right now at 4.0, and it's something that you should really try to look into. Myself, I'm playing heals, and I have for a while. It's probably my favorite spec to heal as, just because the single target healing for Sorc is really powerful. You know, with roaming mend and innervate and all that, you can keep almost everyone alive. It's a great spec to play even if you're new to healing. It's something that I would encourage you to get involved with, just because it's a great spec to really understand how healing works. For healing, basically Resurgence is kind of your dot of heals, I guess you could say, and then Roaming Mend after that, if you proc it together, will drop immediately and drop 12-15k across a bunch of players if you're in mediocre gear. And then Innervate, of course, is great for keeping your targets alive if they're being focused or whatever it may be. Always place your static barrier on people, just because that might get so much damage in any situation, in an operation and in a ranked arena. And what is it? Revocation is the AoE heal. Drop that, on as many people as you can. That'll help get your dots ticking. And other than that, it's basically just pressing the abilities whenever you need them. Innervate, of course, whenever someone's getting focused, and Roaming Mend after Resurgence whenever someone really needs that, if they're being, hit by a cleave or whatever it may be. So with that being said, let's go ahead and Zan will demonstrate Madness on the target dummy before we head into a war zone.
Alright, so just to retouch on this again, for Recklessness and Polarity Shift, you may not want to use this as your opener. Pop those two when you want to burst as a dot spec, I guess, because you really don't have any burst, but that's as close as you're going to get to it. I'm going to go ahead and open with them anyway, just to show you guys what it looks like and how it speeds it all up. But let's get going. So I'm going to get my dots up, pop those.
Also, on the right hand side of our screens, you can see what kind of damage we're putting up. Well, at least what Zan's putting up since I'm heals. And just so you can compare what kind of numbers you can expect to put up as this spec.
And you basically just follow that rotation right there. You can see that I'm parsing pretty high for my PvP gear.
5.2 or so in PvP gears, pretty great numbers. So Madness is definitely a spec I would play if you're looking to parse the highest DPS.
Some extra notes there as well. Death Field I have down here. You want to place this manually. You don't want to just double click it and have it drop there. You want to let's see, you want to move the bubble, and you want to hit as many people as possible, because that will spread your dots to as many people as possible. Which in PvP, you're like a pressure spec and you want to burn like the whole other team down at once, and getting all your dots on everyone else basically just wrecks everyone, and that's the goal. It makes you look good at the end on the scoreboard, and it will hopefully help you win. And
Alright.
I'm gonna actually talk about utilities as well for this class. I like to take increased damage reduction by 3%, sap strength from electrocute, empty body, increased healing received. It is useful because you have a lot of off heals. Well, not really off heals, but self heals. This is a great one. Suppression, Cloud Mine, I have it down here, grants 20% damage, or 25% damage reduction. If you combine this over here with a Warzone Adrenal, that's what, 45% damage reduction, or 40% damage reduction. So very useful there. It basically turns you into a tank.
And as heals, you go ahead and finish up, my bad.
Alright, Electric Binding is also very useful. Overload keeps the melee off you.
Especially in PvP environments, just because if you have people trying to get on you and trying to focus you down, if you push them off you, that's really going to help the healer have time to make sure that you're not getting global.
Static Barrier into Flash of Light is also extremely useful. Let's see, and then for the other one, I don't like the one while moving for this spec. I think more advanced players should either take the Force Bubble heals you, or Force Bubble I guess is barrier, and another one you could consider taking is Whirlwind activates instantly. This is great for peeling and crowd control and
that is
all that
great
stuff.
Yeah. As heals, the utilities that I went ahead and used is Force Diffusion. Xan, if you'll show them this on your screen, it's the top left of Skillful. And then 2 over Sith's Defiance. It increases damage reduction. That's useful just, if there's, PvP or ops, if you're reducing damage, that's always going to help you. And then on the bottom right of Skillful, Dark Heal increases the movement speed of the target by 50% for 6 seconds. I use that just because, even in PvP, Dark Heal increasing movement speed is really going to help your team get around and to their targets as fast as possible. I used Immersion. Force Speed grants Immersion, removing all movement impairing effects, just because in ranked specifically, if people are trying to global you and you're able to get rid of those stunned effects and get away from them, that'll really help you stay alive longer. And just to the right of that, Dark Resilience reduces the damage of the person that you pull out of combat like this, and that helps just because, especially in ranked, if someone's being focused and you just pull them out, that'll help. In Heroic, I used Force Mobility, where Innervate activates on movement. Even though Xan doesn't use that for Madness, I like it for heals just because it gives me more mobility.
I would definitely take that for healing.
Yeah, and prevents me from being stuck around. And then just to the right of that, Corrupted Barrier, where Static Barrier heals you. As healer, you want to use as much heals as you can, so go ahead and use that one. That's all I got.
We're going to go ahead and queue for Warzone and hopefully do some teaching there, so see you in a bit. Alright, so here we are. We got Hypergate. Yay. Before we start here, while we're just waiting for this to count down, I'm going to talk a little bit about surviving as a Madness Sword. While you don't have great defensive cooldowns, necessarily, well, I mean you do, but you don't have a lot of them, you're actually one of the most survivable classes out there, thanks to Phase Walk and all the self-healing you get. I love to Resurgence on myself. Always put your Phase Walk in a place where you're going to use it, because like that will save you 9 out of 10 times, and when you don't have it down, you're gonna regret it. You also have Force Barrier. Try to hold off on using this until you absolutely have to, but it's there. You also have the Cloud Mine and your stems and med packs. So you're pretty survivable. I've gone an entire match in Hypergate where we were basically being farmed by pre-made. My entire team, like the average was 15 deaths, and I've died 0 times just because of smart face walking and stuff. So you definitely are very survivable, and just pay close attention to that. I like to push my phase walk right about here. and then once you phase walk, heal up to full. So I'm gonna start on this person. Got my dots. Going to use my like bursty speed. Village is there, and they are toast. And
That's
another
heals. You're good. You're good.
Okay, another great thing to have up on you is target of target, so you can see if you know who's targeting you, if they're targeting someone else, if someone else needs help and you can appeal for them, etc. So probably getting a little overextended here, but I don't know this guy keeps shooting. So yeah. Titan, do you want to talk about healing?
What's that? Oh yeah. Come over here. Why don't you? Okay, you're here.
Right here.
Healing in war zones. You have to be aware of your ops frame, and I like to have the cleansable effects being able to be seen on all your ops frame, just because with so many specs right now dropping dots, that can really add to someone not being able to survive that long. So if you have that up, then that'll help you be able to see who needs what cleanses and keep people alive longer. And just be aware of your ops frame mainly, and really be aware of if you're with people and if you're PvPing with others, be aware of their utilities. So I know that Zan is running his own force bubble that heals him, so I won't be dropping bubbles on him unless he absolutely needs it, because that heals him and it drops like a flashbang thing that will also help keep him alive. So be aware of what other utilities people may be having, and other than that, just keep a lookout for whoever who's dying, and know that you have med packs and force barrier and all those utilities and cooldowns that Zan mentioned earlier.
So we actually have 2 healers. Is Jedi Sage?
Jedi Sage, he's good.
So another good healer. We're kind of, I don't know if farming would be a great term, but not really playing objectives maybe. So everything kind of changes from match to match what you're doing. Unfortunately, probably won't see a lot of me spamming cooldowns, but
as a healer throughout the war zone, if it's not really a heal extensive moment, go ahead and drop, Crushing Darkness or Affliction or whatever it may be on whoever's around you, just to help with that DPS output.
back out here again. So I'm gonna go ahead and talk about peeling, because not a lot of people really know what this is, how to do it. Basically, in essence, it's doing everything you can to make your team successful and to keep another person from dying. So this is crowd controls, CCs, slows, stuns, interrupts, all these things like you should be paying attention to. My interrupts down here, Jolt for Sorc, since I don't know what the equivalent is for Sages. We also have Extraction, whatever, our pull for friendly pull. That is useful if someone's getting like completely global and you need to get them out of there from melee DPS. Be careful with that one, because people won't like it if they're like in the middle of a Ravage or something and you pull them out of it. So be respectful and use it when you really absolutely need to. I mentioned the instant whirlwind cast earlier. That is very useful, so I could, for example, use it on this guy to keep him from swooping around and attacking our guy over here, or one of the snipers.
Healing isn't necessarily super important in normal war zones. It'll certainly help, but you should really, for sure, keep that in mind throughout ranged arenas.
It's definitely important, as well as like coordinated target switching and whatnot. So I'm actually gonna remove my phase wall and put it up here. Not a great place for survivability, but I'm putting it there in case I need to go defend the pylon. And just like in raiding, awareness of what's going on is also very important in PvP. So, you know, you want to be looking back at the objective, be it the door or the pylon, in case you got someone over here trying to take it. And you want to know what your team is doing, if someone needs help, if you can do anything to help them, all that stuff. So, see, I think that was Titan had a great pull there. And this war zone.
Here's where you can use that phase walk. Yeah, keep them off me. I'm gonna cap. Or not.
What are you doing?
I was capping.
Oh, I'm done here. You see there how I placed that death field to spread dots to all these people, and now it's sticking on everyone. I'm gonna finish him off. It's also very important to be aware of the other team's cooldowns and what they're using, and etc. Basic example would be don't attack someone with Saber Reflect up. This is a bit different as a Madness Sorc because Saber Reflect doesn't reflect dots, so you can dot them and still bring them down. But like if a Juggernaut or an Assassin has their big cooldowns up, switch targets and attack someone else. You don't want to be wasting your time attacking someone who is,
There's someone back here.
has their cooldown up. So just be aware of that. You know, be watching the bar, know what the other team is doing.
I'm just soloing this operative over here at the pylon. It's no biggie. There's 2 people over here if you want to come help me out.
Oh, head on.
Actually, there's 3 people. There's 5.
I'm in the tunnel. I'm actually gonna get my solo medal, go ahead and let it go. It's not like we need it. So if I were surrounded by other people, that's convenient. I would switch targets now that he popped his, 3-minute cooldown. Move on to someone else.
All these scrubs trying to
this
keep
down here, extra damage reduction.
That was a really quick match.
And you see we just knocked them out there to point. So that's basically it for Madness and Healing Sorc. It's pretty easy. Don't forget to MVP vote. And pretty much all you need to know. So hope you enjoyed. It's Vengeful Empire on Begeren Colony. And thanks for watching.